Yes, we are ready to roll. You could say roll, roll, roll your boat gently down the stream. Welcome to the show. This is SOUQ Pulse, and of course, this is SOUQ News Television. My name is TC Var, and you can imagine I was looking to my right. I felt like bringing the guys in already as quickly as the first second of the show. I do have Kelvin and of course Juvie seated with me, and I'm really excited to be here with you guys because there's a whole lot to talk about post Euros, post Wimbledon, and of course we're looking forward to the commencement of the NPFL if the Nigerian Football Federation will keep to their words. They've given a date for the 31st of August. This and much more will form the basis of our conversation on the show today. So once again, welcome on board, and let the usual suspects introduce themselves.
I'm not the suspect. He's the suspect. But it's a beautiful Wednesday afternoon, and I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
Let's talk about sport. Let's talk about football. Let's talk about golf. Let's talk about everything relating to sport, not just the fun part, but also where the money is. Let's talk about people that actually went to money. But guys, I'm still down from the weekend, the weekend trauma after my lost. But I'm fine. I know he's actually excited, but it is what it is. Like I said,
It is what it is.
All right, man. Just stay out of trouble. Avoid drugs. Say no to hard drugs. Say no.
That sounds like a pattern word.
Come on.
No, we just start that. Say no to hard drugs, man. Kylian Garcia is out, but hey, he's been shooting his mouth, and I love the fact that the young man is pro-Trump. Hey, they want to get us down, but hey, the stock is increasing, and that is why I'm here. Where's the money at, man? Where the money at? You know how it is. November, we're starting. August is around the corner. Hey, let me not waste your time. Let's get back to TC Bara while we take you down the sports and business, everything in between.
Yes, indeed. Camera, lights, action. Let's roll. Started off with a Wimbledon. Of course, Wimbledon has wrapped up, but then we have some other tennis competitions which are on the way. And it's Rafael Nadal that will be making the first news story today. His single match since losing in the first round of the French Open in May ended with a 6-3, 6-4 win against Leo Borg in the Swedish Open at the tournament in Bastad. 38 years of age. He missed Wimbledon to focus on the Olympics in Paris this summer, and he won a doubles match with Jasper Philipsen on Monday, broke his 21-year-old Swedish opponent, the son of tennis legend Leo Borg, with a drop shot. And in the fourth game, Nadal will play Britain's Cameron Norrie in the second round. Now, Cameron Norrie had beaten Joseph Kovalic 7-6, 7-4, 6-4 in the first round of the Swedish Open, and we had a tight first set there in which neither player managed to engineer breakpoints on the clay and then went on to a tie break. Great stuff coming from the Swedish Open. But then do you think it's worth it, Juvie, that Rafael Nadal gave up his place at Wimbledon and he's here at the Swedish Open because of the Olympics?
Well, I think it's worth it. The young man, let me call him the young man.
He's still very young.
He has evaluated his strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. You know how we say it. And from the performance 2 days now, the doubles now, what he did yesterday, it goes to show the fact that I think he's ready. Rumor has it that he's preparing for US Open even after the Olympics. The young man wants to play. I mean, from what he said is, man, I don't feel retirement is around the corner yet. So, Calvin, remember, don't say because a man is like 38, he needs to retire, man.
No, but I think, Kelvin, you think he's also still very young.
For someone like Nadal, I think he's still very young because of what he's been doing. And
38?
Come on.
He's 37.
I know, but I think there's a level to this game. There's a level to this game. So someone like Nadal, who is actually the former number one, and also when it comes to tennis, he's actually one of the king when it comes to tennis. I don't see him retiring now. For me, and I
think he could go on.
He should, because
really?
And secondly, getting good wins.
Wimbledon is one of the biggest tennis tournaments.
He has won it.
It's bigger than the Swedish Open.
Yeah. So I think because he has won it before, so he preferred the Olympics. Now.
I just think he was afraid of the competition.
I don't know.
He was running.
For someone like
He was running
come on,
from
I
the
disagree
fight.
with you on that.
He was running from the fight.
I disagree with you on that.
Well, Jack Draper, Cameron Norrie, and Dan Evans, some of the biggest leading tennis players in Britain, have been named in the Davis Cup team for the group stage in Manchester, which is going down in September. We had double specialist Joe Salisbury and Neil Skupski having also been included in the five-man team, with Captain Leon Smith making up to 3 changes, if he wants, for this particular outing. So they've been drawn in Group D. Britain will face Finland on the 11th of September. 2023 runners-up Argentina will come on for them on the 13th, and then they will take on Canada on the 15th at the AO Arena. Well, still keeping with tennis, Jannik Sinner is still leading the 2024 ATP race to Turin, but then we have Carlos Alcaraz almost completely raising the gap between them. He's back in the top 2 of the ATP race to Turin after bagging his second Wimbledon title last weekend. So his straight sets demolition of 7-time champion Novak Djokovic in this year's final, which took a little over 2 hours, earned him the full 2,000 points, and he took his tally to 5,950 points and moved to second spot in the standings, right? Which I would have loved if we could pull that up. But then Novak Djokovic also got into the top 10, and Alexander Zverev and Daniil Medvedev are staying in touch with the top 2. Alcaraz, as it were, now chose race leader Jannik Sinner, who lost the Wimbledon quarterfinal by only 250 points. Crazy, Juvie. I need to put you on the spot. I think you're good with numbers. This might just come in handy, right? Or you might just come in handy right now. Take a look at the rankings. Carlos, he's not been able to still surpass Jannik's point compilation at the moment. He's close.
It's quite close. He's closing it up, man.
Yeah.
And he also, as a testament, he said the fact that Jannik has been consistent, which is one of the things that has been able to get him there. But hey, even Sinner right now is someone is breathing down your throat, and man, this guy can take you out at any time. And these guys seem to be ready. Djokovic is like down to like number 9 or thereabouts.
I think he'll be number 6.
He's almost 7. He's almost out of that range. And kudos to him. He's been very good. But the gap is closing. Alcaraz looks like the man, and Rafael said, man, I've got a lot of respect for this young man.
Yeah.
He looks like, man, he's done watching tennis back at home. He's here to stay. So that's
well, if he ends up winning the ATP 500 tournament in Hamburg this week, that's in Germany, he might just be able to close that gap. And for Daniil Medvedev, he boosted his hopes of ATP Finals qualification after reaching Wimbledon's semi-final for the second year in a row, and will retain his 4th place even as he takes a week off. For Casper Ruud, he can earn a maximum of 250 points this week while competing in Bastad, and that wouldn't bump his ranking in the race. Djokovic is among the biggest movers in the top 10 after hauling himself into the qualification places for the ATP Finals, moving up to 6th. The Serb defied the odds, recovering from knee surgery, advancing into his 10th Wimbledon final last week. And a whole lot we might not be able to take on right now, as we'll be moving from tennis to another sports real quick. Well, let's take a look at what next is coming up right now. Yes, it's tennis as well, but then let's keep it local. The Davis Cup going on in Nigeria. And if we could just take that right back up, the Davis Cup is happening in Abuja. I just found out we have that tournament. It's unusual that a tournament of that nature will be holding, and there's little or no publicity about it.
I think one of the issues we have when it comes to sport management in Nigeria, it's basically one of the key issues is publicity.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of sporting activities going on in Nigeria that even the community next to the community next to where this particular activity is going on is not even aware about it. If not for awareness, I'm very sure if you go to the street and ask some of these guys about SOUQ, not everybody have idea about SOUQ. 80% of them knows nothing about SOUQ. The awareness is not there. So I think it is high time we, in as much as the government tries to play their own part,
Yeah.
the association as well needs to play their own part. Creation of awareness matters a lot.
Jiffy, just before you weigh in on this, Team Nigeria have recorded a massive boost in their quest for promotion to Davis Cup, which is the Group 2 of the World Cup, after 2 hard-fought victories in the singles event yesterday. And it was a tie between the least ranked team and the highest placed country at the Davis Cup African Group 3 qualifiers in Abuja. Players from Nigeria, buoyed by home support, they were gingered and they stunned Zimbabwe with a 2-love lead in the tie. Michael Emmanuel, who was playing his first ever match in the Davis Cup competition, outplayed Courtney Locke in a final set game which ended 2-6, 6-1, 6-3. And the match, which was more or less a stop-start due to the rainfall, eventually gained momentum, and the restart lasted over an hour inside the center court of the tennis section at the National Stadium in Abuja. Bulus, who is based in the United States, also came from behind to cause an unprecedented upset by defeating Benjamin Locke 3-6, 6-2, 6-3 in what is arguably the biggest win of his tennis career till date. The Nigerian ranked 1,174 on the ATP gained control of the game and ensured an emphatic defeat of the 31-year-old world number 419 player.
Oh.
Now, the third and final rubber will be played today ahead of Nigeria's next round of matches as the games resume today in Abuja. Why are you laughing, Jimmy? Is it the ranking now?
Man,
1,174 against 400. It's crazy.
it's
World ranking.
it boils down to what we've been saying. Truth is, if we would, I mean, how everybody's been saying, let's move from non-oil export,
Yeah.
let's move from oil to non-oil. But look at it, man, 1,174. Where are you? On the wrong. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. The awareness.
Well, he was able to, he was able to pull a string. I mean,
No,
it was
even-
so good.
even-
something.
come on.
Do you understand?
Even if he
The awareness. Nothing is happening in Abuja. Abuja.
Yeah.
People are not aware. People in Lagos.
Some sort of qualification.
Abuja are not even aware about it.
Yeah.
It goes to show a great deal of we need to really step up, get off the apron string of government, Abia government, Lagos State. Let them see it. There are locals that started. In the States back then, the blacks had community tournaments where they had to, when the whites were not allowing them to be integrated, they did their own thing. Until we take it as our thing and we invest in it, and it becomes local communities begin to do it. When you know way back, you used to have when BCC Lions was playing, the whole of Makurdi is up. When 3SC is playing Stores, the whole of Oyo State is up. We see it as our thing. Let the government only come into access. How do we contribute? And we say, okay, this is how far you can go. Not like we push everything to the government. So when one turner ends, another person comes and is not interested, or he uses that as a mark, like, okay, you guys vote for me, I will give you something. No, we don't want government participation. If they're going to participate, maybe regulation to a very large extent. Let them stay off. Let us run these things. Let's see it as business, and we will make money. 1,174.
You couldn't have said it any better. You couldn't have said it any better, and that's why I had to hold, my horse to let you weigh in on that. From there, we'll pedal as quickly as we can. It's Tour de France on the front banner, and Belgium's Jasper Philipsen sprinted his third stage victory at the Tour de France 2024. It came after Binyam Jime suffered a late crash on stage 16. Philipsen's Alpecin Ducenic team dominated in the closing stages in 9 nimes before the 26-year-old broke clear the line. Mark Cavendish, which is no new name when it comes to tennis, broke the Tour stage wins record 2 weeks ago, crossed the line in 17th position in the final sprint stage of his Tour de France farewell before a mountainous conclusion to this year's race. Tadej Pogacar, retained the leader's yellow jersey and protected his lead of 3 minutes and 9 seconds over two-time defending champions Jonas Vingegaard. Now, Remco Evenepoel remains in third position, 5 minutes and 9 seconds off the overall lead. And then we had a relatively quiet stage 16, which always looked destined to end in a bunch sprint with a solo attack by Thomas Gachingard. Now, a total energies, providing the only action at the front of the race until the French 23-year-old was caught up with 25 kilometers remaining. So we'll continue to monitor the Tour de France until we get to the final stage, so we can bring you up to speed with the general classification in the end. But then let's see if we could put some balls in the hole and make some money out of this. As an emotional Robert McIntyre vowed to celebrate hard after winning the one he wanted, what he described as the one I wanted, with the Rory McIlroy. Will begin the Open Championship alongside Riders' Cup teammate Tyrrell Hatton and Max Homa when they get to play at Royal Turin on Thursday, the 18th of July. So some chance to make some money. McIntyre here again. Rory coming back to the thick of things. I mean, the Northern Irish 2014 winner of Claret Joke tees off at 10 o'clock. British time, which is about Nigerian time as well, in round one. Last week's Scottish Open winner, Scotland's Robert McIntyre, sets off alongside England's Tommy Fleetwood and Spain's John Rahm. We hear that Tiger Woods is among the afternoon starters and will play with fellow Americans Xander Schauffele and Patrick Cantlay, teeing off later on in the afternoon. Scotty Scheffler is out at 3:10 with former champion Jordan Spieth and Cameron Young. We also have defending champions Brian Harman playing with Norway's Victor Hovland and Sahid Tigala at 9:58. American Justin Leonard, who won the 1997 Open at Royal Troon, will hit the opening tee shot at 6:35. He's playing with 2004 Troon winner Todd Hamilton and Scottish qualifier Jack McDonald, whose granddad is an honorary member of the club. So you have a mixture, or rather, would I say, an array of experienced youth and newcomers. So it's going to be really interesting Open, But then the money is what this is about, because I mean, if it's like golf, is like for big boys.
Golf is elitist, just like polo is elitist. You can't. But somehow some normal working class people tend to find their way there. But golf is generally the kids. I mean, the sponsorship. Look at the people who sponsor golf. It's not like your everyday.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the car. I don't want to. I mean, elitists, and I would love the fact that they could be on our shows. I mean, where we interview. But the truth is,
to the point that Odemwingie will go.
Oshanga is in PGA. I love it. Oshanga. He's in PGA right now. He's qualified. So it's
from
tough.
football.
That's the kind of crossover that the sprinter talking about Usain Bolt.
Finally, I saw Saka also teeing off something. I mean, before they were
come on. It was just come on. He was just joking. It's just something. It's just some. I think some of those things is what they just do when they are not.
Also has got something with golf as well. I mean, Michael Jordan.
But then if you had to play a particular sport, if I had to put you on the spot,
you're just football, ping pong, I do that.
What position would you play?
Man, my football days, I used to be around 7, but when I
is that like your ranking?
You're feeling
in the team. He's ranking in the team.
He's one of my idols, but not too many people. He wasn't celebrated as much as England would. David Beckham.
Yeah.
But Nigeria had one of the biggest.
I think the only time we've been able to celebrate a Finidi judge was when he had a falling out with Victor Osimhen. And then, a lot of videos of
respect. That's not it.
And so a lot of videos surfaced, a lot of memories from his play days.
One of our best. I mean,
yeah, we
just see a Finidi, just look for Muti Adepoju.
Or Ittihad Babazija.
It's hard to connect, and it's so beautiful.
Well, let's still keep up with the show. It's SOUQ Sports right here, and we'll be moving to boxing. Irish Southpaw TJ Doheny will challenge undisputed super bantamweight champion Naoya Inoue at Arake Arena in Tokyo. That'll be on the 3rd of September in 2 months' time. Inoue, regarded as one of the best pound-for-pound boxer in the world, is unbeaten in as much as 27 contests and has knocked out his last 8 opponents. Now, the Japanese fighter secured his first world title more than 10 years ago and has won all 22 of his world championship bouts. The 37-year-old defeated Ryosuke Iwasa in August 2018 to secure the IBF Junior Featherweight title and defended successfully against Ryohei Takahashi before losing the belt to Danny Roman in a unification fight. Now, despite all of these setbacks, Doheny has bounced back with 3 consecutive wins in Japan against Kazuki Kajima and Jafet Lee Liamdo, as well as Brio Vargas. We're hoping that he gets what he wants out of this fight. I mean, the money and the victory. Britain Dubois is set to fight for interim WBC title. Caroline Dubois will face Maria Menno for the WBC interim lightweight world title at Barnsley Oakwell Stadium on the 3rd of August. Now, here's the significant thing here. 3rd August, 3rd September. So it's just going to be exactly 1 month, before the Inoue fight. So Dubois is 23 and has also signed a long-term agreement with a promotional outfit boxer, the Londoner, who will put her IBO title on the line against Uruguayan Monio, is targeting a future bout against undisputed world champion Katie Taylor. 31 years old Monio has lost once in 15 professional fights, and the contest will take place on the undercard of the British and Commonwealth title. Now, that fight between super middleweight Zach Shelley and Callum Simpson at Barnsley Football Club Stadium would also, be some sort of side attraction to it. But then, ladies also going into boxing. I mean, I don't think we're ready for that conversation. It reminds me of when Muhammad Ali's granddaughter, was trending at the point, trying to take her father's part, but then limitations have also affected us back here in Africa, where you have just very few African Nigerian boxers making their way to the global stage and achieving success. Have we had any female boxer?
Female.
Does any come to your mind at the moment?
We have a female boxer to the Olympics. Yeah, we've got some going to.
Who have?
Yes, to this Olympics. Yeah. We used to have at the I think was it featherweight or thereabout, the likes of Jerry Okoro Dudu and the rest of them.
Yeah.
We at the amateur level we had a good number of them. When the Cubans were also there, but there's not been so much consistency in that area, I think. And we have the famous or the infamous Bash Ali.
No, but I'm talking about females.
Our females, we've not really had, apart from these guys
females
going to the Olympics right now.
Dudu, that guy was badass.
Yeah. We had
basically, I think some
we
of
have one female to this particular Olympics. Her name right now escapes me, but we've got for the female. But hey, you know how it is in Nigeria, how that a woman this and that and
one especially Paralympians.
We have the
Kelvin. I'm just imagining Kelvin.
Okay, so from boxing, we'll throw some darts. Top seed Luke Humphries came through a stern test against Stephen Bunting to reach the World Matchplay quarterfinals. The last time we were on the show, we talked about the Dart World Championship. And yes, the World Championship twice went on a break to thrown down, but hit back immediately each time before a strong finish took him to an 11-7 win. Humphries ended with an average of 102.34, but was pushed hard by Masters champion Bunting, who hit 6 180s, but was left to rue. He was ruining some costly misses on the doubles. While Humphries survived his minor scare, Gerwin Price and Nathan Aspinall were the latest high-ranking players to be knocked out. Fourth seed Price lost 11-9 to an inspired Ross Smith in a chilling second-round match in Blackpool. Smith, the 13th seed, hit 13 maximums and came back from 8-6 down to book his place in the last 8. Now, James Wade is true to his first match play quarterfinals since 2019, and that comes after an 11-8 win over Aspinall. That victory takes Wade, who won the World Match Play in 2007, to become the tournament's youngest champion at the age of 24. And that's like a step closer to another title. Luke Littler was limited and eliminated by Michael Van Gerwen in round 1, while Peter Wright and Dave Chisnall also fell at the first hurdle of the Winter Gardens. Dimitri Van der Berg is also through after an 11-5 win over Johnny Clayton. We'll bring you up to speed as that progresses right here on the show. But then let's see if we can do some 3 points and slam dunk. The Tigresses are preparing for the Paris Olympics. And yes, new rankings have been released, the latest power rankings, and the Nigeria female basketball team has been rated 12th in the latest rankings put out. The power rankings is different from the FIBA rankings, and it's the calculation of the team's strength related to other teams that will compete at the Olympics. And notably, the United States continues to maintain its stronghold at the pinnacle of the world ranking on the number one spot. Nigeria's the Tigers have to show some class at the continental FIBA, but then the Olympics is a different ball game. We've had issues with the Tigers and the Tigresses having issues of camping, arriving a day to the tournament. I think that happened to the Tigers in one of their qualification games. And the Tigers got a great coach now. But what would you say even of the support? Because you have been very vehement about government going away from funding some sports activities. And so you wonder what, some of these sports teams and organizations are doing that they don't seek private sponsorship. And so, we've struggled at global showpieces, global competitions. At Africa, we've managed, in quotes, I have to do it that way. I have to say it that way. We've managed to dominate. But then outside the continent, what's that inhibition? Why are we not shining at the global stage?
Well, I think there is not one direct answer to it. I can't even tell you that I have all the answers there is. But the truth is, if it's not sold to us as a thing, if we don't believe in it, we'll keep having people come up from the States and come to practice. You don't have that with Argentina, the team. They play at the NBA, but they've got local guys, and that's one of the problems. And like you said, if we don't make a statement out of it, the private guys will not put their money in there. And when they put the money, these guys are about profits. You want to see your return on investment eventually. So these are some of the issues when you have where are the pitches where these guys, where are the courts here now? How prevalent is the fact that, you go in the States, you go, maybe communities, you see pitches, courts where people could just easily ball, you just ball. It's just there in the open. And so
some people have these things in their
Some have it at the backyard. It is, but hey, we can't just blame poverty or anything, but it's the culture. It's not in our culture. We've not seen it as you just play it a good number of.
Okay, so what sports is our culture? Is it the football?
There is practically we don't see it.
Do we have football? So, but CAF released a list of playable pitches for the Continentals. How many stadiums were approved?
Let's not expose ourselves. We are on the. The truth is.
Well, I give kudos to those teams or those state governments who have been able to even
support,
without an iota of restraint.
Well, to Elijah saying yes, are they also not part of our troubles as well? They determine a great deal of things, how the management runs. You dictate. You pay the.
Let me bring you up to speed with a business, development. So a consortium of clubs have been awarded a license to run the men's professional basketball league in Britain. Now the what do you call it? In the United States, you have the NBA.
Yeah.
As popular as the NBA is, it's like the Premier League in basketball. It's not the U.S. men's national basketball.
No.
You know how crazy it is? So you can imagine what Britain is doing. Now, the Basketball Federation terminated the previous agreement with Basketball League Limited to run the league because of what has been described as a clear breach of the license and financial concerns. So Premier Basketball Limited, a company formed from a consortium of British clubs, has now been given a 3-year license, which will allow the preparation for the 2024-2025 season to be completed. But now, the twist is, a United States-based investment company, 777 Partners, who failed to complete a proposed takeover of Premier League football club Everton, bought a 45% stake in the BLL. So you just have these companies who are interested in pushing their money into sports. And yes, they've done really well in proposing good deals, and they have got 45%. But what I'm positive about is the fact that, the model that has succeeded in the United States that's made the NBA popular might just be what we'll be seeing in Britain. Do you ever say to that, guys?
I think basically you said it all. I mean, it's the same model. That's what the Arab money guys brought in. I saw some match results 2008 or there about Man City, a club whooping them 8-1 and all, like before the oil money came.
Came in.
Do you understand? So people know that when you have good
Quality
investments,
players and quality
money
athletes.
would bring you. LIV is doing that. You have the right money, you have the right team with the right management, and you treat them well. It's just a matter of 1-2 seasons once the
You
team
start getting
gels,
the result.
and they will collect and then take everybody. And 5 times, 5 times Man City is doing that already.
I'm
It's a
sure you
testament.
can't wait to give Kelvin to collect it. Okay, we'll take a moment, and when we return, we've got football stories. Kylian Mbappe has been unveiled to a packed Bernabeu, and of course, what is the fate of Gary Southgate? We talked about Gareth Southgate moving to Pondicherry. We're not certain, and who might just be filling his shoes? That's a big question. We'll also take a look at the NPFL as we hear the prize money might just be moving up from 150 million naira to 200 million naira. That's a whole lot. We also do have sports business stories and transfer gossip for you on the show. So, former Super Eagles assistant coach Usman Abdallah is insisting that no Nigerian coach is good enough for the managerial role of the country's senior men's national team. Well, his assertion comes after the Nigerian Football Federation announced that it was considering hiring a foreign coach following the resignation of coach Finidi George last month, who we hear, by the way, is going to another club, I think Rivers United, right? So some of these things have had an impact on the Super Eagles, which is the Nigerian men's senior national team, who have been without a head coach since the former winger resigned in June. It's not up for conversation, but we would continue to monitor that and bring you up to speed with what the NFF eventually decides. But the NPFL has announced a significant increase in the prize money for the upcoming 2024-2025 season, with the league champions set to receive 200 million. Now, the NPFL chairman revealed this, Honorable Benga Elebele, during the NPFL annual general meeting in Abuja yesterday. You will recall that the previous winner, Rangers International Football Club, received 150 million naira for winning last season, the 2023-2024 season. And for emerging best coach, Coach Fidelis Ilechukwu was presented an award of 1 million naira as the best coach. A check of 1 million was issued to him. He's described as the working one. Joining us on the show this afternoon is none other than a former coach with Sporting Lagos, Edward Green. Edward, good afternoon to you.
Can you hear me?
You're on the program, Edward.
Good afternoon. Hello?
Okay, so Green, if you can hear me, I'd like to go on with this conversation real quick. Fidelis Ilechukwu receiving 1 million and Rangers International 150. The NPFL insisting that they want to increase to 200 million naira. What do you make out of this if you had to compare this with what's obtainable in some other leagues across the world?
Yeah, for me, I have to appreciate what Fidelis Ilechukwu has been doing over the years. He came close. He's been working so hard when he was managing MFM. He came close when he was with Plateau. And for me, what he has just done with Rangers is a reward of consistency and hard work. And I really love his work ethics, his energy, his passion, and his dedication. So for me, I personally could use this opportunity to congratulate him. He's been there. He's been up there for the past 6 to 5 seasons, and he's been working extremely hard. But talking about the NPFL prize money is commendable. Like I think it's a sign that we are growing, because before now it wasn't up to 200. And if you look at the last concluded league, the way it was run, like for me, there's a lot of spark that in the nearest future that there's going to be a massive change, because we had some live games, and with that it helps in players' visibility. So 200 million, it's not compared to what we have in other countries, but it's encouraging. It shows that they are willing to do more as long as they have what it takes to do more.
Okay, so the NPFL chairman, well, the NFF leadership has said that the league will commence on the 31st of August 2024. This is not the first time we've had proposed dates, especially the fact that we hear that club managers are insisting that they want a complete league, not an abridged league. Do you see this proposed date, happening? Do you think it would fizzle out, that we would commence the league on the 31st of August? And what do you make out of an abridged league situation in Nigeria?
For me, first of all, let me react to the abridged league or complete league situation. When you look at the traveling situation in Nigeria, that most times people have to travel 2 days before they get to the match destination. For example, you see something, maybe Castina having to play in Uyo on a Wednesday and having to go back to Castina to play on a Saturday or on a Sunday. My real worry is a mode of transportation, because most NPFL club cannot afford to fly. It's not. I don't know, but very few clubs have been flying. So for me, I'm a fan of an abridged league. Maybe you play in your own region, and we come together in a chosen region where we can have the Super 8, the Super 6, whichever one they choose. So it helps. It will also help the league further, because if you even look at some big countries, they have maybe 18 teams in their league, or some have 16. But Nigeria is a very big country. We have 20 teams, and trying to go round. It's for me, it's cost implicating. It's a massive one on the on the government running the club. So for me, I'm a fan of an abridged league, because it will help fasten the league, number one. Then it will reduce undue fatigue on the part of the players, and let me stop there for now. Then for the league starting on the proposed date, I pray, because it's not easy. There are so many factors that they have to put together, but I pray that they should get all their indices right, so that the league should start on the proposed date. I really commend the new NPFL governing board on what they are doing and what they are trying to do. It's massive. So if they keep going like this, then we're going to have an excellent league in the nearest future.
What we're expecting. I really thank you for finding time to join us on the program today. We're hoping that we have an excellent league that will be the pride of all Nigerians, comparable to some of the major leagues in the world, and of course, so it doesn't feel like we're left behind as compared to some of the leagues in Africa which we're following. Thank you so much, Edward Green.
Thank you, TC. I appreciate it. Bye.
Guys, NPFL. And of course, we've got great teams going to represent Nigeria at the continental level. And with what it is, does it feel like we have what it takes to...
I'm troubled. I'm troubled. I'm looking at El Ali. I'm looking at other clubs that seem to have, other nations and their local clubs, permit me to use the word local, and how much they are doing, how much they are investing in these local leagues. And we want to do a bridge. At the Continental, how long? When last did we get any medal? Trophy from the Continental this thing? Our local league is. I think there is a need to call for state of emergency in our sporting, because it's not making any sense. At the Continental level, we're not there. We went to AFCON. It was I don't want to use lackluster performance that we had there, which goes to show that our local leagues we're not doing well at the local league. Yes, he has mentioned the issue of insecurity and all that, but also if the local leagues, the clubs are doing well on their own, they've got some finances to boost this, they've got investment, they've got partnership, they've got sponsorships. People are coming in to fly from, yes, we understand the exchange rate and all that, but people should be able to fly. You traveling from Lagos to even Osun is tiring, not to mention going to Meduguri and other places. It's giving me a major concern because I don't talk much about Premiership and all that. Those guys are set, but we're not set. And so this is the only things, these are a couple of the things we have. And if we can't manage these things, how can we manage a bigger stuff coming? I mean, I'm really worried.
So, but some succor is the fact that the Honorable Benga Lebele is saying that referees will be equipped with communication gadgets. He gave a caveat. He made a caveat about the fact that we might not be ready for VAR yet.
That should even be the list of our worries. That should even be the list of our worries. Because no, come to think of it, a player is going to board a bus over 6 hours, sit on the bus to another state.
Talking about 6?
Come on, and
you're just saying maybe from Lagos to Osun.
Come on, and you expect them to perform. Now you are talking about VAR is not even VAR should be the least. Let's even sort out the issue of movement of.
Do they have petrol to move them from one state to another? The logistics moving you. These things are. I mean, God, it's disheartening. I mean, the other time I heard, I think it was Osun, Sunshine Stars were attacked. I mean, these things are troubling. They're troubling. It's not even safe for them. We're not even talking about physio and all those things, the medicals. How much are they paid? The allowances, are they paid when they are supposed to be? I mean, when they ought to be. Now you're saying referees, technical this thing. When those guys charge at referees, even police officers at the pitch, they run away. They run for their own lives as well, man, because the orientation is also not good. Because someone is playing away and you must win. These things are not just.
But I think to an extent, this has actually reduced. I think this year, we've seen people who've gone for who go to and they win. Yes,
unlike what we have with Rangers. Was it Rangers and
Enyimba that led to that fight? Come on.
Anyway, let's move away from there to some good news for Kylian Mbappe and
good news for Real Madrid.
For Real Madrid and Kylian Mbappe. So he said his childhood dream of joining Real Madrid has come through as he was unveiled at a very joyous atmosphere at the Bernabeu. What surprised? What was a surprise for me, or what was a surprise for me, is the fact that he was speaking Spanish.
Interesting. I think he's been learning
definitely
way before he got there. Jude also
did the same. English boy did the same.
He said it was a childhood dream. What was a childhood dream? What club were you going to? What do you?
My childhood dream, Enyimba International.
It's when you get to see these children. I mean, these guys. I mean, at a very at a very young age.
I thought you were going to describe Kylian Mbappe as a child.
Kathleen is saying, "I want to play for Fever, Indiana's Fever." Someone is saying, "I want to play this." Alcaraz wants to be this.
Even Djokovic's son said he wants to. And his dad said, "Yes, definitely, I'm going to."
Your childhood dream about sports.
Well, his presentation was delayed due to France's involvement at the Euro 2024, and they were knocked out at the semi-final stage. So he spoke to spectators numbering over 80,000 and told the supporters he had dreamt of the moment he could call himself a Real Madrid player. He said he has also been speaking with Cristiano Ronaldo, who had been offering support and advice, and of course he was introduced to the crowd by the club president. Congratulations to him. Paris Saint-Germain could not afford him anymore, and it was
about the money for him. Basically, man, this move wasn't about the money. Sorry, Kevo, let me bring this in quickly. When Real Madrid released their kit, they were making $500,000 every day. Since the release of this kit, not the unveiling of Mbappe's jersey, since the unveiling of their new kit, 500,000 daily. Kevo, take it from him.
256 goals in over 300 appearances, 308. Would you say a sterling record so far?
Yes, definitely for someone like him. I think Mbappe joining Real Madrid, it's one of the best move and the best decision for Real Madrid, and also a loss to PSG, because as last season
They had some of the
Come on with
finest
money, and Real Madrid was
bad
they
business.
were ready to actually drop something to get this guy. They dropped something good, not just something good to get this guy. But
He was left out of their preseason tournament. I don't think that was the way to go.
and they were thinking that probably we can convince him to. Every player wants the Champions League, especially a good player like Mbappe. I want to lift up that trophy. I want to win my own Ballon d'Or for someone like him.
All right, so we're running out of time practically, but then after 102 matches at the helm, stretching 80s, Gareth Southgate has quit as the boss of the Three Lions of England. It's going to be a tough one. There's been a lot of names touted who will take over his job. I hear Pep Guardiola, I hear Thomas Tuchel, and the list goes on and on. But for you guys, who do you think might just, be the person who might take over the job for him?
I'm very sure Klopp is not going. I'm very sure.
Okay,
Pep,
you're eliminating.
Yeah, Pep is not going as well. Tuchel, that might be considered, but I'm not sure if he's going. Then I also heard that they actually making
What about Eddie Howe?
Eddie Howe as well. He might, but Newcastle are saying that we are holding this guy. This guy is going nowhere. He's out and he's
But
not living.
He's out of a job right now.
He's not looking into English. Anything right now, man.
You know what he went through.
And also the fact that the some of the English, I think they say they want to look into inwards and look into English guys taking of their nationality.
Pochettino falls out of that list as well.
Yeah, so even right now, Southgate is having some invite. Rumor has it that the US men team already are considering Southgate. And I mean, funnily, a great number of his players have been showering some accolades at the young man.
No, he had great time. Yes, yeah, so he had a great time with the England squad.
Yeah, I think it's a good one.
All right, so Chelsea are probing an alleged racist chant video. They're investigating a video posted on social media by midfielder Enzo Fernandez that French Football Federation says includes an alleged racist and discriminatory chant. The FFF said it would file a complaint to the world governing body FIFA over the video featuring a song sung by some of the Argentina squad about France's players. Fernandez's Chelsea teammate Wesley Fofana, who was one cap for France, posted an image of the video on Instagram describing it as uninhibited racism party 2024. And that is not the way to go.
Come on, we say no to racism.
Say no to racism.
We say no to racism.
But we should put our hands and say,
we say no.
Let's say it on cue.
Okay.
Right. 1, 2, 3, go.
Say no to racism. It's actually very wrong. But I think before the Argentines did this thing, there was actually a banter between when I think Mbappe came out and he said the Euros is tougher than the Copa America, and he got some replies, some banters then.
Yeah,
but
I think it's just the media hype.
You understand? So
I have to a sports personality saying the AFCON was more interesting than the Euro 2024.
No, definitely.
So, everyone has got his view.
No. Yeah. I think the reason why someone will come out and say the AFCON is more interesting is because VAR did very well, extremely very well. I think for a very long time, this is the first time you see VAR officiating, getting good results. There was no mistake in the officiating during the whole tournament.
Okay. Well, just before we go into football stories that has to do with transfers and business, let me let you know that Nigeria Super Falcons, that's the senior women's team, will be going toe-to-toe with Olympic champions Canada. That's going to be a closed-door training match in Malaga, and that's going to be at 5:30 Nigerian time. So it's a build-up with 8 days to the Olympics. We are counting down. It's going to be a very interesting fixture. Rest assured, we'll bring you up to speed. We had that pans out. So from there to some transfer stories real quickly, because we are wrapping it up. We are practically out of time. But then, guys, some speculations about who is going where and all that. And then you have uncertainty. But then I want to also bring Osimhen to the fore again. I mean, let's start from home. There's a lot that's been said about where that guy is going, and it doesn't feel like it would be best if he just remains at Napoli.
I think for his fallout last season or last season, he didn't really perform like we expected last season in the Napoli team. I think she'll go to somewhere new, and I think the best place where he would actually do more and do well is.
But do you think he's still fit physically?
He is. Osimhen is strong. Osimhen is still fast. Osimhen is still.
We hear that
He's
the
still
new process
Osimhen.
put them through a process, and from the gist making the rounds from training camp, in Filam, in collect. Jimmy, can you do that for me?
Collect.
So we're sure that José Melro has formally signed a new deal at Benfica, valid until the 2027 June, and that deal includes 16 million euros release clause for the 2004 born talent. We also hear that Ittihad plans to advance from Moussa Diaby after Usman Abdallah has first signed in under blank. Negotiations started with Aston Villa. Initial proposal of over 50 million euros with add-on talks are underway, and the players open to the move. Newcastle United said they will fight to keep manager Eddie Howe at the club after the 46-year-old was linked to replacing Gareth Southgate.
They should keep him. When you have an asset, you don't let him go. You don't just let him go. So if they should allow him to go, it's going to affect the club. So they should keep him.
Aston Villa, they want £60 million for from Al Ittihad if they are to sell 25-year-old French forward Moussa Diaby to the Saudi Pro League. Manchester United are negotiating personal terms with representatives of French defender Lenny Yaro after having a £52 million offer accepted by Lille for the 18-year-old. He has 1 year left on his contract and is also a target for Real Madrid.
He's already in England doing his medicals.
Why do you have to? Are you Roberto?
No, definitely. I'm following up with whatever is going on. He's already in England doing his medicals as we speak.
Marseille have agreed a deal in principle worth £26.7 million to sign Manchester United English forward Mason Greenwood, and that's some stories making the rounds.
He's gone already. Greenwood is gone. He's gone. He's gone to. He wanted to go to Marseille, so he's in Marseille already. He's in Marseille already.
Well, it was the last time you heard about Romelu Lukaku. He has told Napoli he's ready to join from Chelsea if Nigerian forward Victor Osimhen departs this summer.
So Napoli is moving for Lukaku. Lukaku should just go to one of these Saudi
They're not playing Continental now. Are they going to be?
Should just go to one of these. I feel he has done his best. He should just go to one of these.
All right,
Saudi clubs.
Hold your horses
to relax.
Let's check into sports business real quick before we run out of studio. We're out of time practically. Football fans, French football fans should know that majority of French clubs have sought to calm the rhetoric emerging from some of their counterparts in response to professional football leagues heavily criticizing broadcast sales process as ructions also begin to emerge with private equity investor CVC. FIFA is inviting bids for broadcast rights to its revamped Club World Cup in different international markets after negotiations over a global streaming deal with Apple has broken down. Now, one season renewal for EuroLeague and DAZN, Sky Italia EuroLeague Basketball has renewed its Italian rights deal subscription, having previously signed long-term deals in the country. Saying sports markets are looking to crypto organizations for jersey sponsorship. And I mean, that's what African sporting outfits should do. If you can get jersey sponsorship, whatever it is that you can get, I mean, by all means, get a sponsorship.
So get it all.
Well, we're hoping to get sponsorship for the show. We're calling for sponsors from across the globe. If you like what we do here, why don't you put your money where your mouth is and what you enjoy watching? And I really want to take the last words on the show from the guys before we call it a wrap.
Stay out of drugs. Stay out of drugs. Stay out of drugs, man.
Come on, guys. Say no. Say no to racism. Say no to racism. Say no to racism. We are one. Football is a game of love. It's a game of. Come on, in football, you don't really discriminate.
Football is business now. That's only what it is.
It's a game of love. It's a game of love. So say no to racism.
I would say, put your money where your mouth is. And I'd like to thank each and every one of you who has stood by to follow this program. Many thanks to you for watching. And of course, to the guys in the studio, making sure that you watch us live, clear, with crisp sound across the globe. You guys rock. I am TC Barra, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye for now.